So Boris Johnson told the House of Commons that all guidelines were followed, and yet the police have started handing out fines. He misled the House, didn't he?
Can I just say that I think it's great that we don't live in Putin's Russia and that you're allowed to ask me these questions.
You support a free press.
Bear in mind that free doesn't have to be mean.
So did Boris Johnson mislead the House?
No, he didn't mislead the House, because when he said that all guidelines were followed, he genuinely believed it.
Even though he was at some of the parties?
Yes, isn't that a great trick? Genuinely believing something you know not to be true.
Isn't that acting?
And they give awards for that, even if you hit someone.
So he doesn't take any responsibility?
No, the Prime Minister takes full responsibility for everything that happens in Number 10.
So when people in Number 10 are fined, that's his responsibility?
Yes, and he'll be fully accountable.
So he'll resign?
Absolutely not. He may be responsible and accountable, but that doesn't mean it's his fault.
Sorry, can you define the word responsibility? Oh, wasn't prepared for that. I've got this bookmarked on woman. How about accountable? Something about numbers? The Prime Minister hosted a party last night for his MPs. Were you there?
Look, it wasn't a party. It was simply a gathering of friends and colleagues where we had a few drinks and celebrated getting all the calls right and ending the pandemic.
The pandemic that's still happening.
Agree to disagree.
So if it wasn't a party, how do you define party?
Look, get your own dictionary. And I think you have to remember something.
What's that?
There's a war on. Do you really think you should be asking me these questions whilst people are dying?
You just talked about the importance of a free press.
There's a war on. Yes, but this country isn't technically at war, so don't
Just because we're not at war doesn't mean there's not a war on. And whilst there's a war on, I think you should give more respect to the government. But there's always a war on somewhere. Wouldn't that mean you'd never be subject to scrutiny?
Sounds good to me.
Thank you, Minister. Next up, as Western powers condemn Russian imperialism, we'll speak to a historian who'll explain why it's completely different to British imperialism by talking exclusively about railways.